Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. This is the bonus part 3 of the series on how to maximize your War Thunder earnings. This one is a little bit split in regards to SL earnings and RP. I still think it deserves to be in a series though, since you can really make some SL by doing what we're going to talk about in this video. Thank you guys so much for showing love on the first 2 parts. I was really surprised in regards to how much love we got on the first 2 videos. I wasn't really anticipating to get over 100 views. I know that may not seem like a lot, but for our community, we normally don't get that much. So I really could tell that you guys were enjoying this. So I figured that you guys deserve a part 3. That way we can get as much as we can in about how to earn as much SL as you can while you're playing a video game with what time you have, whether it's a little bit of time or a lot of time. So thank you guys so much for showing love on those parts. I know that people always ask the question, what should I do with my money on this game? Should I invest in a premium vehicle or should I invest in premium time? In this video, we're definitely going to talk about both of them. While they both play their own part in your War Thunder experience, some may lean towards one option, some may lean towards another. Neither one of them is really right nor wrong. It's all about personal preference and what you want to do with your money. So again, in this video, we're going to break down what's better, buying a premium vehicle or buying a premium time. While it may, instead of saying it as which is better, what's the pros and cons of each? That way you can determine on your end what would be best for you. Because again, there's not really one that's better than the other unless you have certain qualities that would fit you into a certain category. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure to stay tuned. Let's get into it, baby. Woo! So before we get into the video, I definitely want to go ahead and touch base on what a premium vehicle is, how to find it, and what premium time is and how to find that as well, just in case you're new to the game and you're not sure how. So if you're interested in buying premium vehicles, you're first going to want to go to whatever nation you want to buy one for, obviously. Go to the research area, and on the right side is where you'll find all of the premium vehicles. Don't worry about anything that's like this, that's blue behind it like a tech tree. These are all event vehicles that can only be obtained by a lucky crate drop or buying it on the marketplace. But we're not going to talk about that because that's a whole different can of worms. You're going to want to look for stuff that's got the golden border behind it that can be purchased with golden eagles. Do not worry about these ones. These are squadron vehicles. That's a whole different thing also, so don't worry about the ones that are green. That's completely different. While it does say you can buy with golden eagles, again, that's not what we're talking about. That's not a premium vehicle, so don't worry about that. That's a squadron vehicle. You're going to want to only pay attention to the ones that are gold like this, that have the, okay, that's Wally, but don't worry about that. These are the gold ones. That's what you're going to want to look at. Now, these ones, there are event vehicles that are premium as well, such as this one, but again, if it's got something like this, don't worry about that. Don't worry about the blue, because that's not a premium vehicle. Some of them are premium, and you can also get them from the marketplace. But again, gold, yes. No gold, no. That's what you want to worry about. And now there's 2 ways that you can buy premium time. One of them is a million times better than the other, so I'm going to tell you how to do both of them. But if you do one of them, you're a little bit of a goober, because you're spending way more money than you should be. So if you go up here where it says premium account, yes, I have 358 days. This is where you can buy premium time just in the game right here. I wouldn't suggest doing this because it does say you save money, but it's actually lying because Steam taxes on what you pay. So Steam takes a little bit of a cut, so it costs a little bit more. That way War Thunder can make sure that they get the money that they, are charging for these things. So I wouldn't suggest going here to buy them. I would just suggest opening your browser, making sure that you go to the Gaijin store and obviously click on the War Thunder game. Don't click on any of these games because we're not talking about any of those games. War Thunder Mobile's pretty pog. You can click on that. But make sure to go to premium account. Don't actually click on War Thunder Mobile, by the way, because I don't think it'll work if you spend it on mobile. Because while you can't log in on your account on there, it's separate. So don't do that unless you're actually trying to buy it for War Thunder Mobile. So just putting that in there for disclaimer so no one can get mad at me if they accidentally buy it for War Thunder Mobile. But you're going to want to go to this section where obviously it has the big red square and it says premium time. And this is where you'll find all 3 sections or all 3 options to buy premium time. I would only suggest buying premium time when they're on sale. They do sales a few times a year, maybe once or twice, I'm not sure. I would suggest buying this right here. Everything goes half off for premium time if I'm not mistaken. You can buy a whole year worth of premium time for 40 bucks, which is such a good deal in my opinion. I do it the same way how I would do my PlayStation every year for Christmas. I ask for a PlayStation Plus year card. That way every year I pretty much get a new one. So every time they have a War Thunder sale for premium time, I would suggest, if you obviously want premium time, to buy it then. Everything's half half off. It's a lot cheaper. And even if you don't end up using as much premium time, at least you spent half the money to do that. So it's really worth it to wait for when they have a sale. But you also don't get charged. You don't get taxed because, again, War Thunder, when you do it this way, you save money because you're going and paying straight to Gaijin instead of giving it to another person and then them giving it to Gaijin after taking their cut. So do it this way if you want to save money. Again, you could do it both ways, but this is definitely the way I would suggest doing it, is going to the website and buying it that way and adding it to your account. You also will have to make sure after you buy it, sometimes, even if you're buying Golden Eagles, it will say it's added to your account, but you may have to close your game and reopen it. So don't buy it on the website and be like, Panda, it's not added to my account. You just scammed me. Reported. No. Sometimes you gotta close your game, open it back up, and then it'll be added. I promise you. No scamming around here. Also, the basics that we have for premium vehicles is that premium vehicles pretty much give you a bonus on research points and silver lions. Like, you get a huge boost in regards to how much RP you earn for that nation, as well as how much SL you make while playing that vehicle. Alright, now while you're using your premium account, you get 100% RP in all game modes. You get plus 50% SL for active actions and random battles. You get plus 100% SL reward for the battle time and random battles. You also get plus 50% SL for any other game modes that you play as well. You get 4 decal slots instead of just a normal 2. You get 4, so if you're really into customizing your vehicles by adding, you know, some flair to them with your decals that you do get 2 extra slots for all your vehicles if you have premium time, so that's pretty cool. You also get compensation of expenses for automatic repair of vehicles and automatic purchase of ammo and crew replenishment in case of negative battle results, so that's a pretty nice bonus to have as well. You also get the exclusion of loading screens, so if there's a certain loading screen that you think is stupid, you can just kick it out, say, yeah, you can get out of here, bro, I don't want you on my screen no more. You can also hide your real nickname in battle, so if you don't want people to see what your username is, or if you're a streamer and you don't want people to find your name in game, you know, stream snipers and stuff like that, you can change it to where it's like an automated name every single time. It says like player or something random, so that way no one knows who you are in game unless they're literally like that good of a stream sniper. And it also gives you the condition of changing your camouflage. If you want to make it look more worn, more battle torn, things like that, you have the option of doing that as long as you have premium time. Alright, so I know you guys are probably wondering how we're gonna categorize these things or how we're gonna display them. Guess what? We're not going to use a tier list this time, so hopefully that excites you a little bit. We're switching it up. We're gonna use a pros and cons list this time. I think that looks a lot better than a tier list, given there's only 2 options we're talking about here, premium vehicle and premium time. I think those could both be S tiers, just depends on how you want to look at it and which would be better for you. So we're gonna go through first premium time, and then we'll go through premium vehicles after. That way you can see which one you'd rather look at. That way I don't want to jump between the 2 of them. I want to do one whole section on premium time, then one whole section on premium vehicle, and I'll have chapters down below, so if you're more interested in the premium vehicle one, you can skip to that, and obviously if you're more interested in the premium time one, you can just watch that one as well. So make sure to pay attention to the chapters down below so you can skip to whatever you want to learn more about that certain subject. So the first pro and con that we're going to talk about in regards to premium time is going to be how premium time on average costs less than buying a premium vehicle. I know people are going to say, well, some packs cost $40 and that's how much it costs for 180 days of premium. Yes, that is true, but the $40 that you spend on premium time gets stretched a lot more than it does if you spend $40 on one vehicle for one nation. So I think that when you take that into consideration, your money is better spent and can do more on premium time than it can for that one vehicle, because the $40 that you spend on premium time then can convert to anything that you'd like to use it for, air, ground, any nation, naval. But if you spend it on one tank, then it's only good for that one tank, for that one nation, for that one game mode. So that's why I would say it costs less on average, because you don't have to spend as much to do as much than when you just buy the premium time. Now, a big downside to premium time is that it requires you to play the game more often. So if you don't like playing the game, that's most of us, then you don't want to buy premium time, because if you spend it on there's 3 different ones you can buy: 180 days, 20 days, and I think 60 days or 90 days. There's no point in spending, say, 180 days buying, you know, $40 worth of premium if you're only going to play the game once a week. If you're going to play the game once a week, honestly, I would say if you're not playing the game at least, this may be a little rough to say, but if you're not playing the game at least once a day, once every other day, go ahead and don't worry about buying premium, because you're going to lose. You're going to have more days where you're not playing the game than you are. So half half of your premium, if not more, is going to go right out the window. So if you're not going to play the game a lot, premium time isn't something that you should be interested in, because premium time is for someone that plays the game every single day, all the time, myself included, because when you play every day, then you're always going to have that booster. You're going to make the most of it because every single day your booster's on for RP and SL, so you're going to maximize everything that you make because you're playing every day for a few hours. So it's better than, oh, I play the game once a week, but I have 180 days of premium time, because then literally you're only going to get like a month or two out of premium, if that. So the next thing that we'll be touching base on in regards to premium time is going to be, when you're getting premium time, you get an RP plus SL earning that spans everything you play on the game. So that doesn't matter if you're a naval player, if you're an air player, if you're a ground player, it doesn't matter what mode you're playing, your RP and SL earnings will go for every single vehicle for any nation, low tier, high tier, it doesn't matter. As long as you have premium time, you have a booster on for everything in the game. Now, it does suck that you have to pay. I put in regards to a subscription style. The only reason I put that, no, you don't have to sign up every month to have auto pay on your account. That way War Thunder charges your card every month. But if you have to buy it every 20 days, every 60 days, or every 180 days, that's what I mean in regards to a subscription. Because if you run out and don't re-up it by paying again for another certain amount of days, then you lose it. So that can kind of be annoying, because you have to wonder if you want to pay for another 180 days, because who knows, life could happen and you end up spending $40 and now you don't play the game for half that time and you can kind of waste it. So that's something that you have to keep in mind, that if you do pay for 180 days, 60 days, 20 days, that you're going to have at least more than half of that time to be able to put into the game to make the most of your payment on premium time. Another thing that I definitely want to touch base on in regards to premium time is going to be that when getting premium time, you don't instantly get anything new out of it. You just get a shiny diamond at the top of your account, which only you can see. That can kind of throw some people off, because it's like, wow, I just spent this money, but I didn't really get anything that I can put my hands on per se. But the thing that I would love and urge people to remember is that yes, you don't get anything new right off the jump, but you can use an entire lineup and still get used to the booster. So yes, it doesn't really give you anything from the jump, and you have to sit there and still play the game and kind of feel like you're doing the same thing just with a booster, quote unquote. But if you die in your vehicle, guess what? You can spawn in another one and you can still use the booster. You die in that one, guess what? You can spawn it again and still use the booster. You can have 6 to 7 vehicles in a lineup, and every single time you spawn in, you still have the booster active, and it still gives you SL boosting and RP boosting. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I just died, crap. No, it doesn't matter. As long as you're playing the game, that booster's on. So I'll think of it in a way as a passive ability, because no matter what you're doing on the game, your booster's always active. Doesn't matter what you're doing, how many times you die, you always have the booster on. So yes, it does suck that you don't get anything right off the jump. It's like paying $40 for food, but you don't get the food right then and there. You just slowly get like one chicken tender every minute or something like that. I would do that. I like chicken, so. But that's just me. Now, the next thing that we're going to be talking about in regards to a pro and con for premium time is going to be, you can get 4 decal slots on any vehicle of your choice, whether that be plane, ground, tank, doesn't matter, or excuse me, a boat. So you can use it on any of those. Doesn't matter how many of them you have them on. You can have them on every single vehicle if you'd like. Doesn't really matter. The only thing I think that sucks about that is that you only keep those slots for as long as you have premium time. So if you run into premium time, then unfortunately you don't have access to 2 slots anymore, and you only get 2 of them overall instead of 4. While it does make sense, I think it'd be really interesting if Gaijin, for the sake of players that really only care about adding flair to their tank, they don't really care about how much boost they're getting in regards to earnings for SL or RP, I think it'd be interesting if they added maybe like a subscription thing, or like a monthly or yearly slot thing. Like, it would be cheap obviously, but it's just for cosmetic purposes. I think it'd be interesting if they added something for players that just want to add more decals to their tank, so they can pay like $2 or something to get extra slots. That way they don't have to spend $20, $30, $40 for premium time, where they don't really care about the earning aspect of it. They only care about making their tank look cool in their eyes. I think that'd be something interesting that Gaijin should look into, because that's, giving them a little bit of money still, while also catering to the people that play the game, but they don't really care about how much they make. They just enjoy playing the game and enjoy having a cool looking tank. So it'd be something that they should add that way, so that way they don't lose out on money. Because I guarantee there's people that are out there, probably, it may be a small crowd, just like Naval, but people that'd be like, oh, I would love to buy, an extra decal slot so I can add some stuff to my tank, but I'm not going to get the use out of premium time, so I'm not going to pay for it. So while it would be small, I think that'd be something cool they could look into in regards to having something for those players out there that'd be interested in buying just 2 extra slots, so that way they can add some flair and spice to their tank, or plane, or boat. Probably not boat. Nobody likes boats. Now, the last pro and con that we're going to be touching base on in regards to premium time is going to be that when you get premium time, it gives you the ability to have a more flexible gameplay. That way, you don't have to play a certain vehicle. You can play any lineup, so you can have light tanks, medium tanks, heavy tanks, tank destroyers. You can have anything you want, and you're still getting used to the booster, so you're not just stuck on one thing, no class. You can play anything that you'd like. But the thing that sucks about that is you'll miss out on strong vehicles that some may call overpowered. I think even if you give someone a really good tank, it's hard to do good with tanks or planes or boats unless you know what you're doing. Now, we can all name a few probably that no matter who you give it to, you could probably give it to a freaking, third grader and they'd know what they're doing, or they would do good in it even if they don't know what they're doing. But they're usually pretty average. It's not really the tank that makes the player, it's the player that makes the tank. But again, you do miss out on having overpowered vehicles that give the booster in regards to the premium aspect. So it can suck that you miss out on those things, but I think that it's nice if you enjoy playing multiple types of vehicles in regards to, light tanks, tank destroyers, heavy tanks. You can have a mix of those in your lineup without having to rely on one specific vehicle in your entire lineup to get use of your money in regards to paying for premium time or premium vehicle. All right, so that is going to conclude the premium time section of the video. If you guys do think of anything in regards to other pros and other cons that can be, added to the premium time area, please feel free to drop them down in the comments so we can discuss them, and other people that come and watch the video behind you guys also can read the comments and take those things into consideration. But I think these are the main points that you can have on there. I don't think that there's many more things outside of that would be a big, conversation in regards to pros and cons. But if there's anything that you guys think should be there, please drop it down in the comments. That way, again, people that come behind you that are trying to learn more about which they should spend their money on can look at it and also think about those things as well. But now we're definitely going to go ahead and talk about premium vehicles. And the very first thing that I think about that you need to take into consideration when using a premium vehicle or purchasing one is going to be that premium vehicles last forever. So you can buy a T29 on your account, you could stop playing the game, and then when you have your firstborn son, give him the game, give him your account information, boom, he's also got the T29. Doesn't matter what state you move to, what country you move to. Well, I don't know if North Korea has War Thunder, but it doesn't matter where you go in the world, how old you get, what you do in your life, poor or rich, doesn't matter. You will keep the premium vehicle forever. But it does cost way more to buy a premium vehicle than it does to buy premium time. For example, you spend $50 on a premium vehicle, that is only one vehicle that you get. Instead of getting multiple boosters in regards to spanning the entire game, you only get that one vehicle for that one nation for that one mode. So that really kind of is a big downside in my opinion, because yes, it lasts forever, but that means that it's only for that one nation, that one mode that you get that vehicle that lasts forever in. But some people look at that as a good thing as well, because yes, while you are paying a lot for it, there's a reason why, because it lasts forever, so it doesn't matter what happens, you can always have it. But I think that's a really big wager that you need to also take into consideration, because while it does last forever, it only lasts forever for that one section of the game that you want to play in. So that's definitely a big thing in my opinion. Now, the second point that we're going to talk about in regards to pros and cons is going to be when you buy a premium vehicle, it gets instantly added to your account and you can jump right into a game and play it, so you don't have to worry about researching it as if you got premium time and you're like, oh, I want, the F111F. You can't buy that. You have to buy premium. If you got premium time, you have to research your way up to it still, even if you're one vehicle away, or researching it itself. You still have to research it by playing a lot to get that vehicle. But if you buy a premium vehicle, it gets straightly added to your account. You can go right into games and you get everything. It's already spaded too. You don't have to worry about researching modifications. It gets added to your account completely spaded and ready to go right into some games. But the thing that sucks about that is, and this is mainly geared towards naval or ground, I'd say ground because not a lot of people play naval, but if you don't have tech tree access to the vehicle, you have to run a solo lineup. And what I mean by that is, we know a lot of new players, which I'm not taking a shot at you guys because we were all a new player at one point. If you make a new account and you buy a top tier premium, that's the only thing you can play. And the reason why, again, I say it's mainly tanks is because tanks you want to have an entire lineup for. That way you can be the best of use to not only yourself but your team. You don't want to just have one vehicle in your lineup. Again, this doesn't matter for planes because in planes you only get one life anyways, so it doesn't matter if you bring in a top tier jet because if you die you're dead. But in ground, if you bring in one vehicle that's premium and you die, you either have the choice of respawning in that same thing or you're done with your lineup and that's all you can do for your team. So if you have a full lineup, you can die like 7 times, but if you have a premium vehicle and that's the only thing you have in your lineup, you can only die twice, because once you spawn in a vehicle that's any type, actually doesn't matter if it's tech tree, squadron, or premium, premium, once you spawn in that vehicle twice, you can't spawn in it again. Even if you have multiple backups for it, you can only spawn in it once. So I think that's something that you need to take into consideration, especially if you're buying a premium vehicle for ground. Once you buy it, you only get it with that BR. So if you buy 7.0 T29, that's the only vehicle you have in your, for your America lineup. That's all you can run in it. You can't run other 7.0 vehicles. Now, if you do have that 7.0 area, then perfect. This point kind of doesn't really matter for you, but I think we all know a bunch of players, especially when there's sales going on, that just got the game and they only have one vehicle, which is a premium. It can kind of cause frustration among other players, especially in ground again, because they only have 2 lives that they can, give to the team, while you have a whole lineup and can give 7. So that's definitely something that you guys need to take into consideration. All right, so the next big point that I think we're going to talk about in regards to premium vehicles is going to be that a premium vehicle is only worth it as much as you play it, because if you buy it but never use it, then pretty much the RP and SL boosting that you could have gotten doesn't exist. So there's really no point in buying it if you're not going to play it. And I would say that it's useless as you progress. The reason I say it's useless is because if you're not researching something in regards to, say you have a 7.0 tank for America and you want to, research faster, you can buy that. But once you get to the higher BRs, are you going to be taking a 7.0 vehicle into an 8.0 match, into a 9.0 match? And then if you get up tiered, that's even worse. So really, as you progress through the game, premium vehicles become less and less worth it, unless you obviously go back and want to have a favorite BR. Like for me, I love the 6.7 to 7.7 area. That's like a huge, favorite of mine. So I could understand buying premium vehicles in that area for myself because I would play it a lot. But if you mainly play, higher tier vehicles, there's not really a point for you to go back and buy a lower tier one because it's just going to sit there and collect dust. So there's no point in spending $40 on a vehicle. If it is on sale, that's obviously more understandable, but there's no point in buying a premium vehicle if you're not going to play it, because then again, you only will get your money worth out of it if you play that vehicle a lot. So if you're not going to play it, then just leave it. There's no point really buying it. All right, so the next thing that we're going to talk about in regards to premium vehicles is going to be that usually premium vehicles are considered more overpowered, or at least you would think that they are since you're paying extra to get them. Again, I do still think that the player makes the tank rather than the tank makes the player, but there are a few vehicles that you can look at that are premium that are just simply broken no matter who plays them. They're just really good tanks, as they should be because they're premium. But the thing that sucks about that is just as with normal tech tree vehicles, it's the same for premium vehicles, that you could get a vehicle that's not suited to your gameplay, even if it's in the same class of vehicles that you like, say tank destroyers, heavy tanks, medium tanks, light tanks, it doesn't matter. You could get a vehicle that's not really your play style. Now, I know you can test drive vehicles, but that doesn't really give you a proper feel for the vehicle. That only gives you the feel for it in the aspect that you're playing against literal bots that are not moving nor are shooting at you, that just sit there. So it could seem cool in the test drive because you're like, wow, this thing does great. But wouldn't most vehicles do great when the enemy doesn't shoot at you? That'd make the game experience a lot better for sure. But you would have to be really, really careful about buying a premium vehicle, because sure, you can watch somebody else play it and think, wow, this is a great tank, it looks great, they're doing great with it. But again, it's the player that makes the tank, not a tank that makes the player, because you don't want to risk getting a heavy tank. Oh, I love heavy tanks are great. Then you buy a premium heavy tank and you're like, oh, this thing sucks. So each tank, even if it's in the same class, has its own little play style to it. You can make a generalization in regards to heavy tanks doing this, tank destroyers doing that, but again, you still got to be really careful in regards to getting something that you run the risk of buying something that you may not like in the end and you can't refund it. So once you buy it, you're kind of stuck with it forever. But again, they are usually more overpowered in regards to the ability that tank has. We all know that when you die to a premium vehicle, sometimes you can get a little pressed because it's like, wow, you're paying for your skill. But I still think, again, player makes tank, not tank makes player. So you got to be careful about trying to either gamble on getting an overpowered vehicle or thinking you're buying an overpowered vehicle, but in reality, you don't even like it because the play style's weird. So now you just wasted your money. So it just depends. It's each person to person on what you want to do with that. Now, there is one final thing I'd like to have on premium vehicles, since I kind of wanted to keep it even in regards to both of them with their pros and cons. I did 5 for premium time, so I want to also end on 5 for premium vehicle. That way it's kind of even, because I do think that they're both perfect options in their given, given player. So the last thing that we're going to talk about for premium vehicles is going to be that when playing a premium vehicle, you normally get access to the more rare vehicles. Now, again, anyone can buy them, so it's only rare in the aspect of how many people actually own that vehicle or play it, because sometimes you'll see a premium vehicle in the game and you're like, oh, look, that's that cool tank, or people in chat will say it, so that's kind of like a little, cool aspect to it, that someone's like, oh, wow, you have that cool tank, you have money, goober. But it's not really a reason why I think you would buy a premium vehicle. I think everything else on the list comes first, but it is is something to mention that you get access to the more rare vehicles, which can feel a little cool when you're driving around, you know, using a rare vehicle, quote unquote. But I think one of the huge cons is that you're locked into that nation, that mode, and that rank. Now, you can research vehicles outside of that rank, but not out of that mode or that nation. So if you buy a 7-7 vehicle for Russia that is a tank, you can only research tanks for Russia for that forever. That's it. You can't, sure, you can research stuff that's above that, but then you're locking yourself into only playing that premium vehicle at that BR when you may have things that are higher than that you want to play. And it really sucks that, what if you don't want to play Russia that day? Like, you're not having a good day with your Russian tanks, which is, that's rare. Russia's like the best nation in the game. But there are days when you play a certain lineup and it's just not, you're not doing good. You want to switch it up. But if you do, then you're not getting the booster that you paid for. You're not getting used to the premium vehicle. So it does suck in that aspect, especially if you buy a premium plane. You can't research that if you're playing ground. Now, you can use the premium plane in ground, but you would get better use of that, obviously, if you're playing air. But you can't research tanks with that, nor can you research boats with that. So if you have a naval boat, you're only getting research for naval boats, which would be either blue water or coastal. You can't research blue water with coastal. You can't research coastal with blue water since they're separate. But you can't research an entire lineup while you're playing that. So I know you guys, if you do play naval, which probably isn't many of you, but you can bring in planes. So if you have a premium boat and then you bring in a plane, the premium only stays on the boat, not the plane. Same as if you were playing ground and you brought a premium plane, the premium is only good for that vehicle, the plane, not for your ground lineup. So you can have a great game in your tanks, spawn in your plane and die, and then boom, yeah, you had the premium plane, but you got no use out of it because you just died. And it'd be the same thing as if you were playing planes. You only get to research that nation and that's it. So if you don't want to play that nation for the day because either the teammates are not doing good or you're not finding games, as soon as you switch to any other nation or any other BR, you can't play that vehicle anymore. Because why would you want to research, you know, with a 12.0 jet if the 12.0 games aren't going good and you want to either drop it down or switch to a different nation? You can't do that. I mean, you can, but then again, you lose the premium vehicle. So it's kind of like a gamble on what you want to do there. Yes, it's cool that you get access to a rare vehicle, but then you run the risk of only being able to play or feeling, at least me personally, I would say that when I get a premium vehicle, when I first started to get them at least, because as you guys know, I stream, so I have a vast array of them, so I can kind of play on any nation and any BR most of the time, not in a flex, but just in a sense to show you that maybe I'm not the best example of that. But if you only have a few of them or only even one of them, then you probably get that feeling that, well, I got this vehicle, I want to play it. So you force yourself into bad games, bad days where you're playing bad little gaming sessions because you feel like you kind of have to play that, because if you don't, then that's like having money just sitting there that's wasted. So you got to be careful about that, because I've definitely had that when I first started playing. When I only got like my first premium vehicle, I was like, well, I have a premium vehicle for this. Even if my games are sucking, at least I have a booster. So you got to make sure not to run into that, because there's no point in forcing yourself to play a certain lineup, a certain nation if the games aren't going good. Because while you do have the booster, 10 bad games with a booster would probably be the same as having one good game with no booster. And by I mean bad games, I mean bad games, like no kills, bottom of the leaderboard, you're doing cheeks. It'd be better to have no booster at all and have one good game than have 10 bad games with a booster, in my opinion. Now here is the entire list. Again, I tried to make them both even in regards to the amount of pros and cons they both had. That's why you can see they're both divided down the middle. They both have 5 reasonings for pros and for cons, because I don't think there is a right way to go about this, nor do I think there is a wrong way to go about this. So I wanted to zoom out a little bit. That way, if you wanted to pause the video and look at all these to think about it yourself while, you know, you're looking at some premium vehicles or premium times, that way you can gauge which would be best for you. I don't really think that there is a better way or a wrong way. It only depends on what you want to do and what you want to accomplish, in my opinion. All right, so we have come to the end of another video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this part 3 bonus part to the series. I myself really enjoyed making this video. I only made it because of the support and love that you guys showed on the first 2 parts. I wasn't really sure how they would do, so I was a little nervous and hesitant to make another video, but with the love that you guys showed on the first 2, it gave me a confidence booster to make another one, a little bonus part of the series, because it was supposed to only be a part 2 series. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this part of it. If you have any other further details or pros and cons you think that people need to think about when trying to buy a premium time or a premium vehicle, make sure to drop them down in the comments. Again, as mentioned last video, knowledge is power, so it's better to have, you know, 1,000 brains, all you guys out there commenting, than just me talking over here, especially because I could misspeak or miss something. So please drop some stuff down below if you have anything that you think should be added that people need to think about. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to join the Discord. We'd love to have you. We're closing in on 500 members. We're getting there. And we're closing in on 500 subscribers on the video. So if you haven't already, please drop a sub. It'd mean the world to not only me, but this community as well. It really is insane how much growth we've had just from the start of this year and a little bit last year, so it's insane. If you guys have anything further that you want to see in regards to another series I should go into, or a specific video that you'd like to see me drop, please drop that down below as well. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a blessed one. Be safe. Peace.